Al did bring up a great point. We got a very lengthy email from our vice president last night, and we just scanned it looking for Nate Diaz references. Couldn't find any, but we did find a line that said, "Last night showcased the power of this team, and I have no doubt it made a positive impact on our business."
Oh man, oh man,
wild.
No, this I'm really upset. I missed that.
No,
really upset. I'm glad I got to
really
see Jalen Swanson though.
in my
or Slauson.
Well, don't do that. Do that.
I just said that because he was
it.
in at the end of the game.
No, it was an L. We took an L by missing the party last night, and now Kimberly's not going to let us forget it. So we've just kind of.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm having way more fun imagining what happened.
Yeah.
And I was fine going to bed at 9:30 last night. So
yeah. All right, let's start with Kings, then we'll transition to the 49ers. The Kings did get a win last night, a 116-113 win versus the Utah Jazz. Mind you, we will interrupt all of this if Aaron comes to his senses and recognizes what's going on and takes our call.
Yeah.
Kings get a win last night, 116-113. No De'Aaron, no Domas, no Keegan. That was the story, but there was still plenty to watch. And I think one thing that seems to have a lot of Kings fans excited, and Mike Brown even acknowledged, hey, this brother's making my life difficult right now, is Kobe Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think we're all in on Kobe Jones.
Yeah, Studio One is actually the official Kobe Jones fan clubhouse.
By the way, official welcome. Kyle Madson, the Insiders, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Kind enough to join us.
Yeah,
here.
Shout out.
Yeah.
No, so it started out in the first couple of games. You're watching Kobe Jones, and you're going, "Hey, here's a rookie that just knows where to be on the court."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a great sign. He can play in Stockton and develop a little bit this year, and maybe make an impact later in the year. But as the preseason went on and he got more comfortable, he just got better. And you start to see him, hey, gets a steal on this end, and then on the other end he's grabbing a rebound, and he's leading the break, and he's getting rid of it, and he's relocating to the corner, and he's hitting a big three, and all of a sudden you're going, hey, he can play.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy can legitimately play. So I think now I'm not saying my bit is that all the Kings' problems can be solved by Kobe Jones. Like that's just my running thing. Like Domas struggling, Kobe Jones at the back.
Okay,
like, that's just like. Yep. But I genuinely think.
See why that works.
I genuinely think though, now you have to look at, hey, if Kevin Huerter is struggling, and Chris Duarte can't stay healthy, it was like, hey, there's no one to really turn to. Like there's just, all right, you're gonna work through it. But now you have a player in Kobe Jones that can play that role.
Mm-hmm.
Or can play the Harrison Barnes role, or can play the Keegan Murray role. No, and I'm not saying he should start over them.
Do you hate Harrison Barnes too?
No, I don't. No, I don't hate him. He just kind of is who he is.
And that's what I was. But Kenny hates him.
My Harrison Barnes thing is, if he is coming off the bench as like your fourth or fifth guy, you feel really great about your team. If he's your third option night in and night out, I think that's a problem.
What if he's your fourth option? What if he's your fourth starting option, but maybe like your fifth option overall?
Yeah, then I mean, maybe he's just kind of is who he is, and it's fine.
He's the fifth option.
He's not bad. He's a fine player.
Fifth, maybe sixth option.
But if
Kevin and Malik,
yes,
okay, that's what I was alluding to.
Yeah. So I think he's fine. But if he's out not playing well and he's not rebounding and he's going 2 for 7 from the field with a couple of boards and he just kind of looks okay, then I mean, you have a player like Kobe Jones that, hey, let's see what that looks like. And I just don't think they had that player last year.
No.
And he might be it.
No, I agree. I really love his game.
Yeah.
I love what he's shown the last couple games in this preseason. He's even shown a little bit more than what we saw over the summer, in my opinion, man. And he's worked on his game. I believe in his shot. Just seeing it. I don't know. I think he shot 40% for the preseason from beyond the arc, but I don't even know what the number is, but I just look at his shot. I believe in it. It looks, fluid, looks like a good shot. And I think that's super important in this offense and on this team is, can you continue to stretch the floor? Can you shoot the three ball? I think he can. He's tough. He's scrappy. He goes with something that we're going to talk about a little later. He's okay with constant movement, and I like his game a lot. He opened my eyes a whole lot in these last 3 games or so of the preseason.
Yeah. That's the biggest takeaway from from Kings preseason is Kobe Jones and what he might be for Sacramento? Or do you have
biggest
a different
new
one?
thing for me? I was really surprised at how much Kevin Huerter struggled. Kevin Huerter had a bad preseason.
He
And I don't
did.
even mean just statistically,
Mhm.
but you go from, okay, he struggles in the playoffs, right? The next time we see him, he's not playing great in the preseason. And then he's coming off the bench. And that's supposed to not mean anything, apparently, or something. And then Chris Duarte gets hurt. So now he's kind of put back in the starting lineup, and that back and forth stops. But last night, he has a real chance to go and make his mark and have a great game. And he goes 2 for 10 from the field and 2 of 6 from 3. And you're going, man, you just wanted to see him have that really good, 5 of 8 from 3 type of game.
Yeah.
And he just never had it. And that's not to say that he's cooked or anything.
Mhm.
I was very surprised that he didn't come out and have a better preseason.
It might be solidifying he's just really streaky.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we saw last year. Like some people streaks 2, 3, 4 games, whatever, and then they get going again.
Mm.
Kevin was kind of like weeks, but like it was weeks of like, oh man, Kevin is cold.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was like, yo, he's on fire.
Yeah.
And that was the pattern all of last year. And maybe that's just where we're at in the pattern. You obviously you don't want that, but maybe that's just where we're at in the pattern of Kevin Huerter right now.
I think they're looking at this team and going, how do we get better?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you get better is you get better defensively. And when you look at their starting lineup and then you look down your bench, you're going, okay, who needs to come out of the starting lineup and who needs to come off the bench? And you start looking at Kevin Huerter as like the number one, like replaceable piece specifically from a defensive standpoint, and going, okay, can we make up for that offense with Chris Duarte or with Colby Jones or whomever or with Malik Monk? And that's why I think they start to look at Kevin Huerter specifically, because I think they want to get better defensively. And I think that's the jumping off point, is that 2-guard spot and figuring out how you can get better defensively there, because they have plenty of offense. I don't think they necessarily need a shooter like him on the floor if he's going to be a liability defensively.
The thing about that, and I know exactly what Kevin Huerter needs. I'll talk about it in just a second.
That dog?
But I'll talk about it in just a second. But I just think about the last time we saw them in a real setting. And I understand what everybody's talking about with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want people to overreact to who this team is as presently constituted when it talks about defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, or the lack thereof, is not why they lost that playoff series. They're tough enough. The group they have can play good enough defense. They lost that series because they didn't make shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say, like, how do we get better? We got to play better defense. This unit can do it. This unit can play tough, physical, playoff defense. Even to the point where, sorry, Kyle, people started sending letters to the league office to say these guys are too physical.
Mm-hmm.
They're too tough.
They used the ball as a weapon.
Come on, man.
They did.
That was actually reported.
That's nasty. But that's neither here nor there. But they can do it. Like, this group can do it. You got to get Huerter back on track offensively. I think that's the key to everything.
I don't know if they think that they're good enough on that end. Mike Brown definitely doesn't.
He probably doesn't, but I tell Mike Brown too, and he'd be like, shut the hell up. I say, don't overreact. Like, the group you have can get it done. They may not get it done consistently night in, night out in the regular season, but they can get it done.
The Warriors weren't that good last year, though.
They were second best offense in the league, though.
But I'm not that. Can you defend the Lakers? Can you defend the Nuggets? Are you going to be Are you going to be able to defend Dallas? I mean, there's Phoenix. There are so many other teams that are better than what Golden State offered last year, that I think that's what they're looking at.
But here's what I said, though, yesterday, Kyle. I said, I think what the Warriors bring to the table offensively prepares them for anybody else in the league. Well, the Warriors and the Kings, more than probably anybody, have two of the most complicated offenses in the game. And they make all 5 guys work on defense at the same, like, you have to have all 5 locked in. So then you go up against the Lakers
Mhm.
or the
Nuggets.
the Nuggets or the Suns is who I was thinking of. And it's like, oh, it just got one guy going one-on-one the whole time. And I can, as a defender, I know this guy isn't moving. I could just stand in the corner and be in help. That's kind of easy. Like compared to what the Warriors do, where I can't stand and watch because this guy's moving and this guy's and doing,
Except when
like,
Draymond and Kevon Looney are on the floor at the same time.
oh, there's that too. Right? But it, like, I think it actually prepares them to play other teams and look at them like, not that it's easy because Lakers pose their own problem, right? Because they got size and things of that nature. Yeah. It's different. But as far as like defensively having to worry at every single moment, all 5 guys the whole time, I think only the Warriors present that problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
Number 2 offense in the game last year.
No, for sure. But a lot of that was because of Steph. But I think when they look at what do they need to do to get over the hump, they're not just going to go, oh, we just need to make shots. Like there's so much more to it than that because you're not going to make shots every game. If your goal is, hey, defense isn't going to be very good, so hopefully we shoot 45% from 3 for a series. That's not a winning strategy. That's not going to work because you're going to face better defenses. You're going to face the Lakers, very good defensive team. You're going to face the Nuggets, a very sound defensive team. Then let's say you manage to get to the finals and it's the Bucks or it's Miami or a team that's that good defensively, and your shots aren't going to fall every night. So can you get enough stops on the other end? And I don't think that they think they can.
The other thing about that, though, sorry, Dan,
you're good.
The other thing about that,
Damian Barling's here as well.
Is here's the other thing about that, though. In my opinion, I don't know if you're going to achieve that with the core that you have. You've got De'Aaron Fox. When you talk about the core, I'm talking about Fox, Sabonis, Keegan Murray.
Achieve that level of defense.
Yeah. Your best defender is Fox, who I don't really want you to be asking him to defend all the time.
Yeah.
So you don't have a rim protector like in Sabonis. That's not who he is. Keegan Murray hasn't shown. Maybe he grows into being a better defender.
He looks more athletic, and that should help.
Yeah, maybe he does grow into that.
Yeah.
But usually, like with the Warriors, their core, even if you say Draymond was he wasn't good on offense, but
a liability.
He's a great defender. You look at somebody like Clay. Clay was a top flight defender. That's your core. When Kevin Durant got there, he ended up being a top flight defender.
Yeah,
that's your core. Look at all these other teams. Well, Denver's probably a good example because Jokic isn't a great defender. Neither is Murray, and they got 3 other guys around to defend.
Yeah,
so maybe you can use that as well. But look at Boston. I think Jaylen Brown's a good defender. I think Tatum's a good defender. Yeah. All the Giannis,
Marcus Smart is a DPOY.
Yeah, Giannis in Milwaukee with Drew. Like your core are defensive players. That's why you can do that. I don't know if that's inside. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm saying I'm looking at it on the surface, and I don't know. And that's what's going on here in Sacramento.
But that's exactly why I think you need to get better defenders around those guys because you're not going to remove Keegan or Domas or De'Aaron from the starting lineup. So how do you help them out defensively? And it's not with Kevin Huerter.
You said you know what Kevin Huerter needs?
Yeah. He needs a hug. He needs a hug. He needs Mike.
Maybe Aaron and Kevin Huerter can hug each other.
I know it sounds like a jackass, but that's what he needs. Like if I was on that team, I would Doug Chris, I'd be like, Kevin, you're fighting it right now, bro. You got so much going on in your head. You're worried about your position. You're worried about defense and all this other stuff. Get back to like why you're special. Why, like doesn't mean you can't get better in other aspects, but why you're in this league. You're a top flight shot maker. Don't stress it. Don't stress it. Go out there, be free, shoot your shot. If you go 2 for 7, I'm not taking you out. If you get an open look, don't second guess it. Let it fly. Like that's the approach I would need. You didn't already try to scare him straight by taking him out of the lineup. That hasn't helped his psyche. Like now he needs an arm over him.
Are they saying all that before the hug or during the hug?
Is it
A little bit of both. Like, well, it's
Like
it's
Tua-
after. It's
Because that's
during
a lot
and
of
after.
words like right
It's
behind
like,
my
hey,
ear. I
well,
don't want
Tua
my mouth
and
moving
Bryce-
next to my neck that much.
Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Like, keep doing what you said during the hug, right?
Yeah.
Like, keep doing what you're doing.
That's
You're
an
that man.
aggressive
You know
hug.
what I
Like,
mean?
look how
Do what
like
you do, bro.
tight
Like,
your
I'm just saying,
hands
do
are.
what you
That's
do.
too
And
aggressive.
then you let go and you be like, you that dude. So after.
Got it. Okay. Well, okay.
The Tua Bryce Young hug may be that might be the formula.
Exactly.
This is a very, very long embrace where Tua was doing a lot of talking. That might be
Exactly.
the benchmark for a motivational hug.
Or they need a Draymond KD moment.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying where
Oh, not
one of
that
them
moment.
screams at
No, not
the one guy and tells him that they don't want him here.
not that moment. But no, I think he needs some positive reinforcement. And seriously, like, build him up.
My hottest Kings take right now is that he needs to lose a headband. Headband's got to go when you're going to shoot that
fire. That's pretty fire. That's signature.
Thank you.
Did he start that here? I think he did. I don't think he had a headband in Atlanta.
It's got to go.
Is that true?
It's got to go.
I don't think he had it. I know for like his rookie year, first 2 years, he didn't have a headband.
It's got to go.
He might have got one his third year, but
get it out of here.
That's good.
You're right. He has too much going on in his head and on his head.
But he was better last year.
He
was in Atlanta.
Yeah, he was.
All right. And the
now this is accurate. I do have.
I'm
I'm looking at pictures of him in Atlanta. No headband. No headband. Sacramento, headband. Atlanta, no headband.
I'm leaving this right here.
Nah, he needs.
I can't find a single picture of him in a headband in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think he just started in.
It's time to let it go, bro.
Seeing Kevin Huerter in an MLK jersey is odd, though. That is a little weird.
He had a dream.
MLK
had a dream.
That is very. I don't know why this picture popped up on my search and it just immediately made me laugh. This Kevin is very, very, very pale. So to have the MLK jersey on is a bit funny.
Yeah, man, lift him up, man. Remind him why he is who he is.
Yeah,
because I think, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Kyle. I agree.
On the headband thing?
Well, that's an interesting take as well.
Thank you.
But just like needing defense and all this other stuff, I just don't know if Duarte or Kobe Jones is that guy. I think you need. I don't know if those guys are starting guys in this league today.
I agree.
Today,
I agree.
So I say that to say you need Kevin Huerter. You need, just like last year. I was talking about in the series, in the playoff series, and they're like, bench Kevin Huerter. No, you need him. Like, you need him to make shots. And in game 6, his best game of the series, or second best game of the series, he finally hit shots in that second half. And that's when they started winning. Like, you need him. You're in a position where you need him.
Yeah.
And you got to, like, get him back to that part.
Yeah. You have a large sample size of him being bad in the playoffs now.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're going to keep relying on, then hopefully he plays well in the first half of the season.
Large sample size. Well, he's been in the playoffs 3 times.
No, he's got like 40 games of this.
One playoff. Well, I mean, it was a moment. I don't know if it was the whole playoffs.
Yeah, he had like a game 6 for Atlanta.
Yeah, game 7
against Philly.
Game 7 in Philly. He had 23 season on the line. He did that. But I think the playoff numbers in general are a little spotty.
I'm about to blow your mind with this stat. Okay, let me find that game 7 against Philly. Where is it? Okay, yeah, 10 of 18 from the floor. He was only 2 of 4 from 3, but he had 27 points. Since then, he's played in, 19 games, and the stats are now going to take forever to pull up. Okay, there we go. In the 18 games since then, he's 25% from 3. That's tough.
That's not who he is, though. I don't subscribe except for James Harden. Except for James Harden, I'm not gonna put that on him. Like, he can't get it done in the playoffs.
He's
like
30 career playoff games, and he's at 30% from 3.
I can't dispute those numbers, but I'm not gonna say like he just can't get it done.
So
in the playoffs.
what do we think it is?
He's 24 years old.
Is it Kevin's spotty shooting, or are we discussing whether he shrinks in the playoffs?
He hasn't played well since that moment. There's no dispute.
Right. That's
but I'm not gonna let that define who he is and who he's gonna be moving forward.
Yeah, you're not gonna give up on him, but it's definitely it's not. And that's the other aspect of this.
But that's not answering my question. Are we blaming the playoffs, or is this just Kevin Huerter just doing what he appears to be doing? He's a streaky shooter.
Oh, you mean right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about like in totality. Are we looking at the entire Kevin Huerter picture going, well, he's a streaky shooter, and oh my God, he shrinks in the playoffs, or he's a streaky shooter, which can include the playoffs?
No, I think that's too. 30 games is too much for me to be like, oh, he's just bad streaky every time he goes to the playoffs. Nah, I don't buy that.
So he shrinks in the playoffs.
That's what data says.
And that's who he's going to be moving forward.
You have to assume so.
You have
Like,
the
you gotta
game
show
logs
me.
pulled up.
Yeah.
Give me like shots per game. Just reel them off one after the other.
Field goals or threes?
Field goals.
Starting when?
Whenever you want.
Okay, so this is the 2021 playoffs.
Yeah, just reel off a couple of them.
7, 8, 5, 7, 8. 9, 10, 6, 10, 7, 15, 18, 12, 10,
Well, okay,
11,
give me
15,
go back to the 15.
15.
What he do in that game?
7 of 15, 2 of 6 from 3, had 17 points.
You know
11 boards?
You know where I'm going
These
with
shots.
this, don't
11
you?
boards?
You know where I'm going with this.
Trey.
Exactly. Sorry, Stanley. I feel like Trae Young might be a problem for other offensive players on the team. Out
Trae
of pocket or no?
Let me.
I'm stalling Kevin Herter out. I'm
Maybe.
stalling Kevin Herter
Let me
out.
check the Trae Young not on the Kings last year.
No.
Okay, now wait a minute. Now hold on. Now we're shrinking it down to a single playoff series.
I know.
And we're also talking about what De'Aaron and Domas did.
Yeah.
Was he the second best scorer on that Atlanta Hawks team? Or would Collins had to have been the second best scorer?
Probably.
John Collins is still the second best scorer on the Hawks.
Well, it might be.
Where
might be
is
true in some circles.
Where is Jeff Teague at? Is he?
He's in Charles Barkley's
podding.
heart. He's in Charles Barkley's heart somewhere.
And Herter wasn't good in the playoffs last year. I'm not going to dispute that, but he had a couple moments. Game 2, he played well.
I think we just went over this. I don't think that he did.
He went
Game 2, he had
he
like
went,
15.
Yeah, he went 2 for 9 from 3.
Okay.
His best game was 3 for 8 in Game 6, like Kenny said.
3. You're sticking with the 3-point numbers.
Yes,
he was 3 for 8.
Yeah,
from 3.
that's his.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
3 for 11 from the field.
Yeah.
I'm not writing off Kyle just yet. Neither Madson or Kevin. Excuse me. I'm not writing off Kevin Herter.
Kyle Herter. It's his twin. It's his brother. He just has blonde hair.
That's who's
Kyle
that's
Herter
been the
and
problem.
Kyle Irving.
Kevin hasn't been playing. It's been Kyle Herter out there.
I like it.
I'm not
It's a
writing
Chris
off
and
Kevin
Cliff
Herter
Paul
yet,
type
man.
deal here.
Yeah.
I'm not writing off Kevin Herter yet.
Kyle, the insurance salesman, going for 1 for 6 in Game 7.
Are you writing off Sasha?
Not writing off. I need to see more still before I'm like, oh, that's a rotation player in the NBA. Like, he'll get minutes and you kind of see him work it out. But yeah, he wasn't terrible. It wasn't like unplayable, but I was just hoping for more, I think. That might be my fault. That might be a me thing.
Well, that was my biggest. Well, it's our issue thing because of how much of the offseason we spent focused on him.
Yeah.
But and we talked about this like yesterday during the show. My issue with last night's game when we started talking about the possibility of let's go with the hypothetical that Domas and De'Aaron don't play. Obviously, they didn't. Keegan didn't play either. How do we evaluate Sasha Vezenkov playing big minutes or playing for the second time with none of those key players in against lesser competition? That's what, he came through in the very first game of the preseason, halfway through the third with the fourth, roster against the fourth roster and looked like, oh my God, dude walked on the floor, scored 12 and left.
Yeah.
And then he played with De'Aaron and the starters. It was like, hey, where's the guy from the other day?
My man needs to do some yoga.
So that's the other thing that I wondered would be a concern. And it's, you talk about yoga, flexibility, clumsiness, perhaps. I worry about his conditioning. There's a story, I guess Mike Brown told it before the game. Deuce and Mo played the audio of it on their podcast, that apparently Kobe Jones threw up in the Warriors game. Keegan Murray intentionally fouled someone because went to Mike and said, hey, you got to get Kobe out. Mike's like, why? I think he threw up. And so he had thrown up and he was holding, he went past the coach, and I guess he threw up.
Did we ever find the
because he was
moment?
gassed?
Well, I didn't search the moment. I heard it. I heard it. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I heard it. I don't think he threw up on the floor. I don't.
I heard
it's on the podcast, and they have the audio. Mike told the story. I guess he told the story before last night's game, and so I'm here. I look at Colby Jones. I don't look at Colby Jones, but like, boy, man, run a lap.
Yeah.
But I did pose that question about Sasha, is maybe he might have a difficult time keeping up with this offense. And you look at the way that this offense is moving right now, and the finest conditioned athlete's going to have a hard time keeping up with this offense, which Colby Jones probably is.
Colby Willie Beeman Jones.
Well,
he ordered a pizza
Willie
last
puked
night
because of nervousness.
To your point, though, with Sasha keeping up, I think that just takes time. If that's the issue, and I could believe it, like things might be moving 1 trillion miles per hour for him. It'll slow down. He'll get used to it. And when he gets used to it, I think that's when you're going to see who he is. Sasha.
I'm not talking about the speed. I'm not talking about like the mental speed of the game. I'm talking about like the actual speed of the game.
That'll slow down. It'll be one. Like not the actual, but the offense. Like he may be helter skelter. You don't think he ever catch up to that?
No, what I'm saying is, but I don't think that's a psychological thing. I think there's a psychological component, but I think there's a physical component to the way that the Kings play.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine with that.
Okay.
I think he'll be fine with that.
Kevin Huerter said he wasn't fine with it last year.
He's not going to play Kevin Huerter minutes, though.
That's true.
I think he'll be fine with that.
Apparently, Nate Diaz was at the Kings game last night.
Nate Diaz is always at the Kings game. Somebody saw Nate the other night. He was there on Sunday.
We got a text explanation from Aaron, by the way.
A text explanation?
A text?
Yeah, I told him multiple times to call. He sent me a text.
Dude, bro, does he not know what we do for a living?
He might not.
Does he have no clue what we do? All right. I guess Jesse's going to read the text from Aaron when we get back.
That's definitely not one of the 5 Odysseys. Text. That's a T.
We'll talk 49ers Monday. We'll make Kyle Madson stay an extra hour on Monday to talk 49ers football with us.